you did a little bit about telling us about your Goldman Sachs experience, and you've talked in the past about what it's like to purchase a business. Kind of walk us through how, where you see, what your company is today, where it is today, and what your plans are to get it where you want it to be, and what is your vision for your organization going forward.
Well, it's something I think about quite a bit, and I think right now, like it's funny, like during the pandemic, I had these prior to the pandemic, I had a plan where I was going to try to buy a smaller competitor and try to increase business that way. And then, as this has happened, I guess I kind of started playing my cards a little bit closer to the vest a bit, and wasn't looking to extend so much. And so what I think is what I would like to see us do is I need to hire more staff. I need to hire another technician, because I think then I could double, what our output is by having 3 folks out in the field. I think we get jobs done a little bit quicker and take on more work. And as I can see business increasing that way, I've been trying to sell and bring in new customers, and I've gotten some traction with a few new guys that's going to help us get there. And so I think by adding staff, I mean, I have to work on the field staff more, and then eventually migrate one of those folks into the front office, so we can have some more people doing sales and project management. And I think with those things progressing, I could increase revenue to the point where we could have an easier chance of buying a smaller company, or even there's a lot of consolidation in my industry right now, and maybe become a target for somebody who might want to acquire us. So I'm right now I'm just basically trying to grow a little bit more slow growth, some organic growth, and that's happening. But I think my goal in 5 years is see our revenues at least double, and have a staff of, right now I've got 5 people. 5 people. I would see that get up to 7 or 8, and so that's what I'm trying to do. And so I'm trying to do that chicken or the egg thing where I'm bringing in more work, and so far we're able to handle it, but I need to have those next pieces in order for us to sustainably do it. Otherwise, I'll just burn everybody out. And
how are you getting your business right now? New business?
It's been a combination of things. I've done some prospecting, and then sometimes it's like somebody might reach out to us, or we might come, like for instance, I got this one customer where we're working at this one facility, and I've seen these folks there's a lot of companies, there's a lot of contractors that put out bids on, like, they've got a bid list. They send out bids to, all these different folks, and you might see them, and there's stuff you might want to bid on, stuff you might not. And I saw this one client, or this one prospect that was working at a facility that we're starting to do a lot of work at. So I reached out to him. I was like, hey, you know what? We're doing work at this site. Everybody seems to be really happy with us. Why don't you give us a shot? And, I was able to get, a small job, like a little tester job, and that's gone well so far, and grow it that way. I've had another one where somebody was in a jam. They're building an America's Best contacts over in Somerville Circle, and they had a long-term supplier that flaked out, and so they came to us in a hurry, so we did it, and then they sort of went away, and I tracked them down and started just reaching out to them, and seeing if we could do stuff. And now I think I've got a shot, like just in this last few weeks, of doing quite a bit of business with these guys. And so I've done a combination of things, of using like reference.com to find companies that sort of mirror the type of work, the type of customers that we tend to work with. Like, I don't do the really big jobs. You're not going to see us at like putting in 1,000 doors at the next high rise, but we do a lot of smaller, more technical type of stuff that you'll see like in a pharmaceutical company or something like that. So I try to find customers that are similar to the ones that we work. So I've got a nice story to tell them, as well as something that we could handle and be competitive with. Because on those really big jobs, a lot of guys just work on very small margins, and that's really not in my business model.
So remember I told you about Lead 411? Remember a few weeks ago?
Mhm. Yeah.
What's nice about that is you can take a current customer that you already have, you can enter their company name into like the database, and then they'll come up with similar companies. So
Right.
how you can find like, sort of exactly what you're looking for by just entering in your own customers, and then they'll give you similar ones to target. But you should try it.
I will. I think that's a great idea. So no, definitely. So it's been a combination. We've gotten some, we get some referrals, but it's really just anytime I get a chance to engage with a customer or do any kind of work for them, I really try to show how we're just how we're different. Do it faster, do it better, no mistakes, and just really try to display our customer service. So like if I could turn somebody that spends like say 10 grand with us in one shot, to get them to do that, I want to be their preferred vendor, so that I'm not going out there working on these open bids where they're trying to get a job, so they're asking for quotes from 50 other people so they can plug their price in so they can try to bid their price. And I want to work with people that have the jobs, that are qualified leads. And it's good. It's taking a while, but I'm starting to see some fruits of that.
And just to step back, I mean, I have a pretty good idea, but just address to people who won't know, like, someone who says, hey, let's go to Home Depot. I buy doors. Oh, what do you do? I'm confused. Kind of walk through how technical and some of these more technical applications and the difference, like kind of get in the weeds to where it is in a bit, so people can envision the type of people they can talk to for you.
Okay. So for instance, let's say you're a general contractor and you have a job at, let's say Pfizer, and what they're doing is they're creating a new lab, and they need to have stainless steel doors with automatic operators, and they need to have specialized glass in there in the door so you can see in there, but it's fire rated glass, and you're dealing with architectural hardware like a panic device that is is plugged into a security system. And so these are things you can't find at Home Depot. These are all commercial. These are all for commercial. So you got something where you got an opening where you're going to put a stainless steel door into it, and you need to have card access to get into this building and get into this room. Well, we don't do the card access part, but everything that the card access connects to is what we do. So you're going to have to buy a panic device that's going to automatically unlock when somebody swipes that card, and then you're going to be able to push through and get to that. There's going to have to be certain special types of seals around this door to either quiet sound or to limit the airflow that comes in or out of that room. You're going to need a specific type of glass that's fire rated, because in this, let's say this opening has a 90-minute fire rating, meaning a fire could be raging that room for 90 minutes before it's going to spread. Well, if you just have regular glass in there, that's just going to blow out and melt. Whereas if you have fire rated glass, it's going to be able to contain that. So every little piece of that opening is going to have to be fire rated. Everything's got to be precision fit, right? So you might have an opening where it's a custom size. Like you have a traditional 3-foot by 7-foot door, but I've got this opening. It's got to be 8.5 feet. Well, you have to get that custom made. And we get that. We can get all that stuff done. We do plenty of the standard doors. You don't find that stuff at Home Depot. Like for instance, if you've got a facility where you're a food processor, and you need back bay doors that go out. So you need a pair of doors that have different types of seals and stuff like that for airflow and stuff like that. We can come in there and do something like that, and that's stock. So we do a few different things. We do a lot of custom work, and then we also have stock items that we carry all the time. And these are all for commercial spaces. You're not going to find any of our types of any of our things, our products in anybody's home. These are much heavier duty, much higher grade. They're designed for a certain amount of use. And so those are the types of things that we provide. So you'll see our work happening in a lot of commercial office space, a lot of whether it's a food manufacturer, a pharmaceutical company. You'll see our work going into labs, all those types of folks. So we'll be working, and also we're doing work with one of Beverly's favorite people, one of the big energy providers. We help secure all of their power stations, so that there's an audit of people that go in and out of those areas. And so we work with an access control company, and they put in all the stuff where people swipe their credentials, and then we provide the doors and the hardware that integrates with that. So we work in a lot of different ways, but it seems to fall into working with general contractors that are doing commercial work, as well as access control companies that are going in and outfitting whether it be a school or any type of facility, to make it safer and more secure. So hopefully, I know I covered a lot of ground.
No, and again, I think that gives people a much better understanding of what your specialty and what your niche is. Does anyone have any questions or anything that they want to ask, Jonas?
Where's your location?
So Jonas, have you looked into school? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Bev.
We're in Raritan, New Jersey.
Oh, you're in Raritan. Okay.
Yeah, right around the 206 circle there.
Okay.
And have you looked at any of the private schools and or churches as far as an organization that kind of trickles out? And because I think a lot of them are with COVID and different apps that are forcing to modernize some of their access points, and they tend not to be a government contract type of scenario and situation.
Yeah.
Have you looked?
Well, there's a lot of companies out there that in my space that specialize in schools, and that's sort of they've kind of got that niche there. But oddly enough, I did just join a group with the technical school there that hands out certain. I just joined the board that hands out scholarship money to kids, and I was like, I selfishly I did do a thing like, maybe I'll get to meet some folks in that field. And in the first meeting, that the superintendent asked me if I would give him a price on a pair of doors. And so, yeah, I mean, that's going to be something that we're going to be trying to grow, to grow with. I am running into a little bit of an issue with the state, in that the state now there's a public work certificate that you have to get to work for, do some work for many towns. And they've changed the law in 2020 where you have to be a part of an apprenticeship program. And I'm not, because A, I'm not union, and B, there's no real apprenticeship program for a door and hardware technician. But they say, well, so they're trying to, it's like it's one of those one size fits all type things that doesn't fit everybody. And so I'm bumping into something. I'm trying to figure out an end around on that. But we do provide hardware to schools. So I can sell to a school. I can sell products to schools. But doing installations might be a challenge. So, which is fine, So you don't need a contractor's license to sell a pen to a school, so you don't need it to sell a lock. But if you want to install that lock, you may need that contract, depending on the size of the job too. So that's a little something that they switched around on me, and created a little bit of a challenge. But it's not a big part of my work. But it did change a little bit about what I was targeting.
Excellent.